my third upload today, the 13th of the 12th, 2019. Um, Basically, I'm here after sharing about the most invasive and intrusive offences that any woman would ever experience. And after sharing what I've already shared, I'm just reflecting a little bit more about, the factors involved. And while I'm concerned here about illegalities and the lawfulness and lawlessness of all of this, um, all surrounding the matter of human rights being the priority that everyone should be respecting. And it's occurred to me that it's not so much about people respecting the human rights in Tralee anymore. It's about their egos, people's egos and egotistical agendas and greedy agendas that are trying to engineer a situation or construct a situation in Tralee, County Kerry that isn't a natural situation at all. As a light worker um, that has been spiritually violated, the issue I have with all of this is the issue of going against the grain, going against the natural rhythms of nature, of going against the constitution of the country, those going against the Declaration of Human Rights. So basically, it seems there's a little bit of narcissism going on, a little bit of egotism, a lot of greed, a lot of lies, a lot of deception, a lot of false messages, a lot of false constructs. And I'm looking at this from a cultural perspective now as a graduate of the UL. And I'm just thinking, at what cost are people prepared to construct such a disturbing situation? I've been married since 2015. I gave birth in 2015. Since then, my family life, my role as a mother, etc., has all been very severely impacted. And as I've said, I know my culprits. I know my enemies. I'm not sure I understand their thinking or their logic, but I think overall there's a construct in society being you know fabricated and convoluted with false messages, and that's very dangerous in any culture. And as a graduate of literature and culture, and an expert in sociology and whatnot, um, I'm just wondering. I'm just like, media is powerful. The messages in media are extremely powerful, and the messages that we get from the media are powerful. But there's a very much bigger responsibility by the media to relay the reality of society and culture and whatnot, and politics, etc., etc. So at the moment, um, from what I've experienced since giving birth and since 2017 and whatnot, um, it's been very apparent how there's a false construct in society, particularly in Tralee, and false messages, a lot of defamation, a lot of falsehoods, and it's very disturbing that people are trying to construct their own kind of reality without actually, confronting the truth of reality. So, whether that's down to their greed or whether that's down to their narcissism, that's, they're different matters to confront. But the most serious part about it is that Piggy in the middle, deserted wife and mother, and victim of hate crime and human rights violations, that hasn't been informed or consulted about, what has been happening, and that has been assaulted spiritually, um, just proves, the agenda in society at the moment. And, with regard to the political aspect of all of this, I'm apolitical. Um, I'm a humanitarian. I've volunteered in Cuba, I've volunteered in China, I've volunteered in Portugal, I've volunteered in Holland, I've volunteered in Ireland. I've contributed to the world and I've contributed to society. And as Piggy in the middle in this small little town, um, victimizing and violating me, um, I've just got to say politically, for the government of Ireland to be, you know, ignoring this and facilitating the wrongdoings by ignoring this is very serious, not just from a spiritual perspective, but from a humanitarian perspective, because the politics involved and power players playing games with people's lives, especially innocent people's lives, um, is unforgivable and unjustifiable. So, if it is a case of narcissism and greed, I'd like people to think of, what has happened in the past. I had a very good history teacher, and one of the lessons is learning from the past. And we've already seen the devastation in Europe of two serious, wars and whatnot. And I'm always wondering, have people ever learned from the past? Die Vergangenheitsbewaltigung comes to mind, you know? People coming to terms with the troubles of the past and the troubles that people have caused in the past. And the role of narcissism and, greed, etc., doesn't serve the greater good. So, as a spiritual, sentient person and being, I would be thinking that those with the agendas of ruining my family and my career and my health, reputation, and wealth consider the not only political implications for causing this trouble for the government, because, you know, the government has been implicated in a situation that I'm sure it's not comfortable about. I'm pretty sure that there are agencies that I'm discussing that I have, you know, experienced wrongdoings by that aren't comfortable with what's happening. Um, so I know who the culprits are for this mess. Um, I'm just wondering, have they any conscience about the repercussions? And I'm just wondering if they understand that narcissism, etc., is a thing of the past and that it's, you know, it's very serious. It's not evolutionary. There's progress and there's regression. And from what I'm seeing and from what I'm experiencing from a cultural perspective and from a sociological perspective, and that's with regard to the media, you know, this has all got very serious implications because people just want the truth. I just want the honesty from the people that have wronged me in the issue of the human rights I've been violated in, the 29 of my human rights that have been violated. And the community at large, the nation, whatever, what's being broadcasted, I hope is accurate. Um, for Ireland as a country, um, I don't know how good this is for the country because we all know Ireland's past. Ireland's past has been difficult, and for this to be happening to a mother in the 21st century doesn't show much progress.